What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Once again, we're at the Corporate Press Express, where we're going to bring it to you live and debunk these people in real time on YouTube, all for your viewing entertainment, if you will. Man, the corporate press, I don't understand, especially the Associated Press. Like I said yesterday, the Associated Press is hitting 10 for 10 right now, and they seem to can't be stopped. Did that make sense? They can't be stopped, y'all. Yes, they cannot be stopped. They are just on a roll of lying and lying and lying, right? It seems like some of these corporate press articles, these people have that new variant of Trump derangement syndrome that I was talking about on my last video. You know, the new variant that alters your perception of reality to where you can't see anything clearly at all. It's like you're seeing a totally different movie playing out in front of your eyes. Totally different movie, right? When you can get in front of a camera, play a video of Donald Trump speaking normally, speaking like with youthful vigor, and say that it looks like he's got dementia and he's slurring all over the place. When you can watch the same thing that everybody else watches and everybody else was like, that was a damn good speech. And you still say, I think he's got dementia. I don't think he should be running for president. Yeah, there's something going on with your perception of reality, right? David Pakman has this really bad. MSNBC has this really bad. Brian Tyler Cohen, he's got the worst possible case of this, folks. He is bad. He even tried to argue that Joe Biden's debate performance was good. The only person, well, except for Harry Sisson. Harry Sisson, he's not even a real person, if you ask me. He's a fake. He's made up by. He's an artificially generated intelligence. If you can even apply intelligence to that, and I only mean intelligence loosely, by the way. So don't take that too seriously. I know. I'm sure you started typing away down in the comments section. What do you mean intelligent? I'm just using that as a loose base. He can move his eyeballs around and he can speak words. That's what I meant by intelligence. But I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Let's go ahead and get into the story before I rant on forever, because I have a tendency of doing that, folks. Treasury warns that anti-woke banking laws like Florida's are a national security risk, right? And guess what? They give zero rationale for why that is. They oh my goodness, they're constantly doing this. This is one of my big sticking points with corporate press articles. They'll always say, oh, there's some national security official or whatever says blah, blah, blah about this. This is blah. And they never give the rationale for it at all. They never explain the letter. Like, what's the reasoning behind the letter? They'll make these claims and then just say nothing as to what the claim, like, what's the reasoning? What's the logic behind the claim? They're just giving out a claim. And then they expect people to just buy into that. Oh my God. Anti-woke laws are a national security risk. Yep. Let me go tell my friends. It's like, I just don't understand the Associated Press in this. I don't understand the Associated Press. Check it out. The Treasury Department is warning that state laws that restrict banks from considering environmental, social, and governance factors could harm efforts to address money laundering and terrorism financing. Now, think about that paragraph right quick. Think about those things. Environmental, social, and governance, right? Like, okay, so money laundering and terrorism financing. How do those go together once again? Right? Like, the ESG is like how woke you are as a company, which doesn't make any sense, because that's exactly what it is. I say it doesn't make any sense, but that's exactly what ESG is. It's not environmental, social, and governance. It's how woke are you, right? Because, and my evidence for this, because environmental is the first E in ESG, right? And guess what? Tesla has one of the lowest ESG scores, right? One of the lowest, Tesla. Yes, the electric car company. The company that is responsible for the electric car revolution has one of the lowest ESG scores. I wonder why that is. Folks, it's all political. It's how woke are you, right? Tesla, they're kind of woke, to be honest with you. Go look at some of their company rules, some of their company policies. They're kind of woke. They're not the wokest, of course, but they're kind of woke. They have some very progressive rules to that company, right? And they're an electric car company, and they have one of the lowest ESG. It's all because the owner, Elon Musk, bought Twitter, turned it into X, and gave us our free speech platform back. That's all this is about, folks. Are you in the woke club or not? And it's BS. And I commend Florida for getting rid of this garbage. As a matter of fact, I read the news every day, and I read through a lot of headlines, folks. A lot of headlines. And I've been seeing for the past few months, I've been seeing a lot of, this company drops its ESG stuff. This company just story after story after story of people just abandoning the ESG. It's because it's just garbage. It doesn't produce anything, right? Like, it goes against companies' fiduciary duty to turn a profit for their shareholders, for goodness sakes, because all the ESG stuff does is cost the companies money, right? Look at Bud Light. Bud Light has a very high ESG score. They're not turning a very good profit right now. As a matter of fact, they've just been downgraded from the second most popular beer to the third. So good job, guys, on the Bud Light boycott. Good job. We knocked them people right off their pedestal. We proved that we can vote with our dollars. We could say, we don't like this woke garbage. We're not buying your beer anymore. And let's keep that pressure up, y'all. But let's get into the story. Let's continue the story. The Associated Press obtained a copy of the letter sent Thursday to lawmakers, right? Once again, like I said, they got a copy of the letter, but they don't give the rationale whatsoever. The letter singled out a law signed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in May that says it would be an unsafe and unsound practice for banks to consider non-financial factors when doing business. The letter concludes that such laws create uncertainty and may inhibit national security efforts. Think about that for a second. It says for banks to consider non-financial factors when doing business. Now, think about ESG. Those are non-financial factors outright. So what are they talking about? Once again, the rationale for this is just insane. They don't give one, but if you try to read between the lines, it's the complete opposite of what they're saying. Conservative Republicans such as DeSantis have sought to block environmental and socially conscious standards for investing, saying that such initiatives can lead to unfair discrimination based on political beliefs and harm legitimate businesses. Look at Bud Light. They say that considering environmental, social, and corporate governance issues, or ESG, before deciding whether to invest is woke behavior gone amok. And it certainly is. Most certainly is. Tennessee recently enacted a similar law, although it was not mentioned in the Treasury letter. State legislatures in Arizona, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, and South Dakota have also have measures along the same lines under consideration. I apologize for the slip-ups, y'all. DeSantis has said the law being questioned by the Treasury Department would protect the access that conservative groups and the firearms industry have to the financial sector, arguing that such organizations have, at times, had their accounts frozen or closed. The Treasury Department said that the Florida law could, however, undermine the work of federal agencies. heightening the risk that internal drug traffickers, transnational organized criminals, terrorists, and corrupt foreign officials will use the U.S. financial system to launder money, evade sanctions, and threaten our national security. Now, what in the hell does environmental and social governance and all this BS have to do with any of those things? Can you name anything? Right? What does making sure that your company is environmentally friendly and that you have woke policies, how does that affect anything related to national security? I'm really, like, this is a genuine question. You guys let me know down in the comment section, because I have racked my freaking brain trying to figure out, unless it's some sort of woke mafia or something like that, maybe then, but I still don't see it. But I just don't get it, what the corporate press's angle, all right? Like, and the Biden administration, this is coming from the Treasury Department, for goodness sakes, trying to say that getting rid of ESG is a national security risk, right? And the corporate press is going to get right behind this, and they're going to be saying, oh yeah, all these anti-ESG laws are a national security threat from terrorist organizations could launder money, for crying out loud, because this company has nothing to do with the environment. They don't have these environmental policies, and they don't have these woke ideological policies, none of this stuff. They're more susceptible to, it's like, come on, no. Once again, the new variant of Trump derangement syndrome strikes well outside of Donald Trump. It's a neurological disease that causes people to perceive reality in a different manner, right? Like it's some movie playing in front of their eyes, and they can interact with you and whatnot, but what they're perceiving is something totally different. Because like, what world did these people parachute in from to think that if you don't have a good ESG score, if you make laws that go against doing some of this woke garbage, that it's going to be a national security risk to terrorist organizations and corrupt individuals, officials of other countries? Like, how? Like, they don't explain how. Like, when you give out an argument, right? When you're arguing for something, you generally give out your rationale. You don't just say, you're a racist, and that's it. You don't explain why oh, wait. Never mind. Maybe this is something to do with Democrats in general. Yeah, because they do that, don't they? I'll take all this back. I'll take it all back, y'all. I'll take it all back. Democrats have some sort of neurological disease that makes them think that they don't have to explain their positions, right? How can they explain their positions? That's why I love watching left-wingers debate. It's so entertaining, because they'll just make up they'll baffle you with BS is what they'll do. Just baffle you with BS. If they can't dazzle you with brilliance, they'll baffle you with BS. And Democrats are experts at baffling. The Treasury Department letter was a response to a July 8th request from Rep. Josh Gottheimer, Blaine Luetkemeyer, and Rep. Brad Sherman. Gottheimer said he was pleased that the Treasury Department shared his concerns. To any state that are considering similar laws, I urge them to think twice before putting America's national security at risk, the congressman said in a statement. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. How? Once again, dude, how? Please, how? Where's the correlation? How do these things relate? What's the rationale behind this? Where's the logic, for God's sakes? Just please explain how you can connect these two. I have no idea. I don't think they know either. They're just virtue signaling and saying stuff just to say stuff, just to go against the other side. That's what it seems like it's all about, right? Florida makes a law, so they got to come up with some excuse as to why that law is evil. That seems to be their rationale. Their only rationale is they are the other side. They are the opposition, so they have to oppose everything. They can't look at something and be like, oh yeah, that's logical. Yeah, that makes sense. They can't. They refuse to do it. That's why these people are so vehemently for abortion. Because anybody that logically looks at it can say that, once it gets to a certain point, it's murder. For sure. Without a doubt. Anybody with a rational brain can say that, yeah, that's what it is. Maybe you don't think that it's life at conception. Maybe you don't find it murder, in the first few weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever. People fall along different lines on that issue. But you get to a certain point, right, where it becomes, okay, yeah, no, that's a baby just because its location is different. Just because it hasn't been born yet doesn't mean it's not a human that can feel pain and has emotions. It's not going to remember none of that, of course, but it still has emotions. It still has a soul, for God's sakes. And, it's alive. It's a human life. Most people will agree with that. Unless they're trying to lie to you, folks, which that's what Democrats love to do, right? And when you get them into that corner with the late-term abortion issue, their first argument is, oh, it doesn't happen. Well, if it doesn't happen, then why don't you come over here and stand alongside of me and let's make it illegal? Well, it doesn't happen, though. Exactly. That's my point. It doesn't happen. So, let's outlaw it to make sure it doesn't happen. But hey, try to make sense of a left-winger. Yeah, it's kind of hard these days. But I think that's all I got for this one. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Once again, if I have missed something, if my logic is faulty, if I've overlooked some angle that makes this make sense, please make it make sense to me, because it doesn't make any sense to me. It just seems like they're just opposition, right? They're just doing this because they did a thing. Now they have to do the opposite thing. That's what this seems like to me. That's the only rationale I can come up with. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.